My beloved child, stop for just a moment. Do not let your finger move away, because what you are about to hear may feel strangely familiar. There are moments in life that arrive without warning, moments that seem ordinary until one hidden detail changes everything. Today is one of those moments. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The title that brought you here is not just a collection of words. It is the beginning of a story that unfolds one layer at a time, revealing something unexpected with every passing second. Imagine discovering that somewhere, someone came across a forgotten video connected to you. It was not a video made for the world. It was a quiet memory, a forgotten recording, a small moment that carried more meaning than anyone realized. The person who found it expected nothing special. They thought it would last only a few seconds before they moved on. But something happened that no one could have predicted. Their expression changed. They watched again. Then again. Every time they replayed it, they noticed another detail that had been invisible before. They began asking themselves questions they could not answer. Who was the person in this moment? Why did this simple recording feel so meaningful? Why did it seem as though the video carried a message that had been waiting for exactly the right person to notice it? Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. Because what happened next surprised even the person who found it. They did not rush to tell everyone. Instead, they quietly kept watching, searching for clues hidden inside the smallest expressions, the smallest gestures, the smallest moments that most people would never notice. As they continued watching, they realized this was not about a perfect image or an extraordinary event. It was about authenticity. It was about seeing someone exactly as they were in a single unforgettable moment. That realization changed everything. The more they watched, the more they wondered if this video had somehow found them for a reason. It felt almost impossible to explain. Every ordinary second inside that recording seemed to become extraordinary. Every glance seemed meaningful. Every smile seemed connected to a story that had never been fully told. That is why you are here now. Because this story is not simply about a hidden video. It is about what can happen when forgotten moments suddenly return with unexpected importance. Think about how many memories disappear into old folders, forgotten devices, or distant clouds. Most are never opened again. But once in a while, one resurfaces. One quietly waits until the perfect time. One reminds everyone watching that even the smallest moments can carry the greatest meaning. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The person who discovered this recording began noticing details that others had overlooked. A quiet laugh. A calm expression. A moment of kindness that lasted only a second. None of these things seemed extraordinary at first. Yet together they formed something unforgettable. They realized they were not simply watching a video. They were witnessing a memory that deserved another chance to be seen. As curiosity grew, they searched for answers. They wondered where the recording came from. They wondered how long it had remained unseen. They wondered whether the person inside the video even remembered that this moment had ever existed. Every question led to another mystery. Every mystery made the story even stronger. It became impossible to look away. That is exactly why you must keep listening. Because this is only the beginning, and every new moment reveals another unexpected piece of the story. Sometimes life hides remarkable things inside ordinary days. Sometimes a forgotten recording becomes a reminder of hope, kindness, growth, and unexpected connections. Sometimes the smallest discovery becomes the one memory everyone remembers forever. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. What happened after the discovery surprised everyone involved, and the next part of this story reveals why this forgotten recording became far more important than anyone could have imagined. A quiet silence filled the room after the unexpected discovery. The person who had found the forgotten video could have closed it and moved on, but something made them pause. There was no dramatic event, no loud announcement, no obvious explanation. Instead, it was the feeling that every passing second revealed another small detail that had gone unnoticed before. A warm smile that appeared for only a moment. A thoughtful glance toward someone standing just outside the frame. A simple expression that carried genuine kindness. None of these moments seemed remarkable on their own, yet together they formed a story that felt impossible to ignore. The more they watched, the more questions began to surface. Why had this recording been forgotten for so long? Why did it suddenly appear now? Was it simply a coincidence, or had the right moment finally arrived for it to be seen again? Every replay uncovered something different. Tiny details hidden in the background, familiar places that had quietly changed with time, and emotions that seemed even more meaningful years later. It was as though the video had patiently waited for someone who would truly understand what it contained. As curiosity grew, the person decided to compare the recording with old memories they still carried. They searched through photographs, conversations, and forgotten notes, hoping to discover how this single recording connected to a much larger story. What they found surprised them. Small moments that had once seemed unrelated suddenly fit together like pieces of a puzzle. Every discovery pointed toward the same conclusion. The value of a memory is not measured by how famous it becomes but by how deeply it touches the people who experience it. The hidden recording became more than a video. It became a reminder that the most meaningful moments often happen when no one is trying to create something extraordinary. Honest laughter, quiet determination, thoughtful conversations, and simple acts of kindness leave a lasting impression that grows stronger with time. Watching those moments again felt like opening a letter that had been waiting years to be read. Then something happened that no one expected. A tiny detail appeared near the end of the recording that everyone had overlooked during the first few viewings. It was so subtle that most people would have missed it completely, yet once it was noticed, the entire meaning of the video seemed to change. Suddenly, earlier moments made perfect sense. Questions that had remained unanswered now had quiet, satisfying explanations. The recording had not changed at all. Only the perspective of the viewer had changed, and that made all the difference. The discovery inspired the person to reflect on the memories they had almost forgotten in their own life. They realized that countless meaningful experiences are often hidden inside ordinary days, waiting for someone to appreciate them from a new point of view. That realization stayed with them long after the video ended. Instead of feeling like the conclusion of a story, it felt like the beginning of a new understanding. Yet the mystery was not over. One final clue remained hidden inside the recording, a detail so unexpected that it would connect everything in a way no one could have imagined. The next chapter reveals that final piece and explains why this forgotten video continues to leave a lasting impression on everyone who watches it with an open mind. The final clue did not appear with dramatic music or an obvious sign. It arrived quietly, almost as if the video itself was inviting the viewer to slow down and notice what had always been there. For the first time, the person watching stopped searching for something extraordinary and simply observed every frame with patience. That single decision changed everything. A reflection in the background, a familiar place that had faded from memory, and one genuine smile connected together in a way that no one had expected. The recording suddenly felt less like a forgotten file and more like a time capsule that had preserved a moment exactly as it happened. As each second passed, a remarkable realization began to take shape. The secret of the video was never hidden because someone wanted to keep it away. It remained unseen because no one had looked at it with enough attention. The smallest details carried the greatest meaning. A simple conversation became evidence of kindness. A brief moment of silence revealed quiet confidence. A glance that lasted only an instant reflected hope that had gone unnoticed for years. Every discovery made the recording richer, proving that ordinary moments often become extraordinary when viewed through a different perspective. The person who found the video decided to learn more about the day it had been recorded. Old calendars, forgotten photographs, and familiar locations slowly brought the memory back to life. Piece by piece, the story became clearer. It was a day filled with simple routines that no one expected to remember. Yet those ordinary moments had quietly become unforgettable because they captured something authentic that could never be recreated. Nothing had been planned. Nothing had been rehearsed. That honesty became the greatest surprise of all. The more they understood the recording, the more they realized that everyone has moments like these hidden somewhere in their own life. Small memories waiting inside old devices, forgotten folders, or quiet corners of the past. Most people believe important memories always arrive with celebration and excitement, but this video proved the opposite. Sometimes the memories that stay with us forever are the ones that seemed completely ordinary when they first happened. Then another discovery changed the story once again. Near the very end of the recording, something unexpected appeared that no one had noticed during the earlier viewings. It was not a dramatic event. It was a tiny detail that connected the beginning of the video with its ending, completing the story in the most satisfying way. Suddenly every unanswered question found its place. Every quiet moment gained new meaning. What had once looked like a random recording now felt like a complete journey captured inside a few unforgettable minutes. That realization inspired everyone who watched it to think differently about their own memories. Instead of searching only for extraordinary experiences, they began appreciating the simple conversations, genuine smiles, peaceful afternoons, and unexpected moments that quietly shape a lifetime. The video became a reminder that life's greatest treasures are often hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to be appreciated. Even after the recording ended, one mystery remained. The person who discovered it noticed a small clue that pointed beyond the video itself. It suggested that another forgotten memory existed somewhere else, connected to the same story in a way no one had imagined. Finding that missing piece could answer the final question and reveal why this remarkable recording resurfaced at exactly the right time. And that final discovery would transform a forgotten memory into a story that no one who hears it will ever forget. A new chapter of the mystery began the moment the final clue pointed toward another forgotten memory. The person who had uncovered the recording realized that the story was never about a single video. It was about the invisible connections that ordinary moments create over time. They returned to the same location where the recording had first been made, expecting nothing more than a familiar place filled with old memories. Instead, they discovered details that matched the video perfectly. Every corner, every object, and every quiet space carried echoes of the past, making it feel as though the recording had preserved far more than a single moment. It had preserved an entire feeling that time could never erase. As they carefully compared the surroundings with every frame of the recording, something remarkable became clear. The smallest moments inside the video had inspired people more than any dramatic event ever could. A genuine smile. A thoughtful pause. A simple act of kindness that lasted only a few seconds. Those ordinary moments became unforgettable because they were real. Nothing had been planned. Nothing had been performed. It was simply life unfolding naturally, and that authenticity gave the recording its lasting power. The deeper they looked, the more unexpected discoveries appeared. A familiar object seen briefly in the background connected to an old photograph. A place visible through a nearby window matched a memory that had almost disappeared with time. Every answer created another question, but instead of confusion, it brought a sense of wonder. The recording seemed to invite every viewer to appreciate the beauty hidden inside everyday experiences. It reminded everyone that the greatest stories often begin with moments that seem too ordinary to remember. Soon, others who learned about the recording started revisiting their own forgotten memories. They searched through old albums, archived videos, handwritten notes, and quiet keepsakes stored away for years. To their surprise, they found moments they had completely overlooked, moments filled with laughter, encouragement, friendship, and hope. The mysterious recording had inspired something much greater than curiosity. It encouraged people to rediscover the value of memories they once believed were insignificant. The person who first found the video finally understood why it felt so meaningful from the beginning. The recording was never valuable because it contained a shocking secret. Its true power came from revealing that the most unforgettable parts of life are often hidden inside simple, honest moments. It showed that time changes places, people, and circumstances, but genuine kindness and authentic emotions remain meaningful no matter how many years pass. Then came the final realization. One quiet detail that had appeared throughout the recording finally made perfect sense. It had been present from the opening frame until the very last second, yet almost no one noticed it during their first viewing. Once it was recognized, every part of the story connected effortlessly. The forgotten recording became a reminder that some discoveries cannot be rushed. They reveal themselves only when someone is willing to observe with patience, curiosity, and an open heart. As the journey reached its conclusion, the mystery transformed into something far more meaningful than anyone had expected. The hidden video was no longer simply a forgotten file. It had become a timeless reminder that ordinary moments often hold extraordinary value, that memories grow more meaningful with time, and that the simplest acts of kindness can leave the deepest impression. Long after the screen faded to black, the story continued to live in the minds of everyone who had followed it from beginning to end, reminding them to treasure the moments they might otherwise overlook, because today's ordinary memory could become tomorrow's most unforgettable story. The story did not truly end when the recording reached its final frame. In many ways, that was where its greatest meaning began. Days after the mysterious video was discovered, people continued thinking about the quiet details hidden inside it. They remembered the calm expressions, the genuine moments, and the feeling that something important had been preserved without anyone realizing it at the time. The recording had become more than a forgotten file. It had become a reminder that every ordinary day has the potential to become unforgettable years later. The person who first uncovered the video decided to return one last time to every clue they had collected. They compared the earliest moments with the final scene and noticed something remarkable. Every answer had been present from the beginning. Nothing had appeared by accident. The smallest details that seemed unimportant at first slowly connected into one complete story. It was never about a hidden secret designed to surprise people. It was about discovering the extraordinary value inside ordinary experiences. That realization changed the entire meaning of the journey. As the mystery unfolded, another unexpected discovery appeared. Several people who had watched the recording shared similar memories from their own lives. They remembered forgotten afternoons, meaningful conversations, and simple acts of kindness that had quietly shaped who they became. The mysterious video inspired them to appreciate those moments instead of overlooking them. What had started as a single forgotten recording had grown into a story about gratitude, reflection, and the timeless importance of genuine human connection. Looking back, every question finally found its answer. Why had the recording resurfaced after so much time? Because the right moment had arrived for someone to truly understand its meaning. Why did it feel so powerful even though nothing dramatic happened inside it? Because authenticity speaks more loudly than spectacle. Why did everyone remember it long after it ended? Because honest moments remain meaningful long after the excitement of ordinary events fades away. The final message hidden inside the story was beautifully simple. Life is filled with quiet treasures that often go unnoticed while they are happening. A smile shared without expectation. A thoughtful gesture offered without recognition. A peaceful conversation that seemed ordinary at the time. Years later, those moments become the memories that matter most. They remind us that the greatest stories are not always the loudest. They are often the ones built from sincerity, patience, and kindness. When the person closed the video for the final time, they no longer felt as though they had solved a mystery. Instead, they felt they had rediscovered something much more valuable. A new appreciation for everyday life. The recording had quietly transformed from a forgotten memory into a timeless lesson, meaningful moments do not need to announce themselves to leave a lasting impact. They simply need someone willing to notice them. And so the journey came to its natural conclusion. The mysterious recording had fulfilled its purpose, not by revealing an unbelievable secret, but by reminding everyone who followed the story that some of life's greatest discoveries are already waiting within the memories we almost forgot. Long after the screen faded to black, that reminder continued to shine, encouraging every viewer to treasure today's ordinary moments, because one day they may become the most meaningful chapter of their own story.